Europe's electric car sector is facing substantial challenges, with major manufacturers such as Esol and Audi feeling the pressure. Despite the early excitement and lofty goals, the reality of diminishing revenues and high manufacturing costs is driving businesses to reconsider their strategy and reduce their European operations. Is this the beginning of the end for Europe's EV boom? With manufacturing closing and protests building, the landscape is changing in unexpected ways. Let's look at what's actually going on. The electric car revolution is said to be in full swing, with flashy new factories cropping up left and right. But wait, something unusual is occurring in Europe. Instead of a boom, we are seeing closures, cancellations, and a great deal of uncertainty. Remember the cutting-edge Audi facility in Brussels? Who makes those elegant, high-end electric SUVs? Well, get this, it may not be around much longer. Volkswagen, Audi's parent corporation, is considering shutting numerous facilities in Germany, maybe for the first time in its 87-year existence. They blame it on fierce competition from outside Europe and the fact that their vehicles are no longer as competitive as they once were. However, the situation in Brussels is far more severe. That facility, which has been operational since 1949, is particularly built to produce Audi's electric flagship, the Q8 e-tron. The problem is that this high-tech SUV is rather expensive, costing roughly 80,000 euros. Turns out most Europeans aren't exactly rushing up to spend that much money on an electric car. So, what comes next for the 3,000 workers at the Brussels plant? Audi is considering utilizing the facility to manufacture parts for other Volkswagen Group vehicles or selling it altogether. However, there are currently no firm plans in place, causing widespread concern among workers and the local economy. Unions are putting pressure on Audi to provide a viable strategy, especially since hundreds of more jobs are at stake from firms that supply parts to the manufacturing. They have chosen to pack their things and return home. And this is not just a little retreat. They plan to shut down their whole European operation by January 2025. They withdrew plans for 2 large facilities in Germany, which would have cost them around 2.7 billion euros. They'd even started putting things up in Saarland before pulling the plug, citing Europe's lagging EV market and trade problems. So, what prompted Esol to halt its European expansion? Officially, they blame the declining EV market in Europe and those pesky trade obstacles between the EU and China. However, murmurs in the industry claim that Esol was also experiencing financial difficulties back in China. This entire Esol story is a significant setback to Europe's goal to become a global battery powerhouse. It also emphasizes the difficulties of recruiting and keeping foreign investment in a continuously changing and highly competitive sector. It makes you question if Esol, China's 8th largest battery maker, is struggling. What does this suggest for other firms looking to enter the European market? On the surface, Europeans appear to be losing interest in electric vehicles. Overall, EV sales across the region fell by 4% in the first 9 months of 2023. But go a bit deeper, and you'll see a story of 2 Europes forming. In certain parts of the continent, such as the United Kingdom and the Netherlands, EV sales are actually increasing. Electric vehicle sales increased by 14% in the United Kingdom, while they increased by 7.8% in the Netherlands. Across Europe, sales of battery electric vehicles, which operate entirely on energy, are up 12%. But then there's Germany, Europe's economic powerhouse and a significant auto market. EV sales in Germany fell by a staggering 20% this year. What happened? Many criticized the German government's unexpected decision to stop EV subsidies by the end of 2023. It turns out that financial incentives were a major motivator for German drivers to adopt electric. Not just Germany is feeling the squeeze. EV sales in France, Norway, and Sweden have all declined somewhat this year by 0.6%, 3.1%, and 11%, respectively. This mixed bag of outcomes depicts an EV market that is still finding its feet, dealing with economic instability, altering government regulations, and changing customer preferences. Here is a thought. What if European auto manufacturers got it all wrong? What if their fixation with creating premium electric vehicles is really backfiring? That is the point that some business insiders and even union officials are now making. They point to vehicles like Audi's Q8 e-tron, the €80,000 electric SUV we discussed before. Sure, it's a technological wonder, but it's also too expensive for the typical European motorist. And it's not only Audi. Many European automakers have shifted their attention to high-end EVs, seeking to capitalize on early adopters, ready to pay a premium for the most advanced technology. But here's the issue. Most people cannot afford an €80,000 automobile, whether electric or not. In the first 8 months of 2023, just 902,000 electric vehicles were sold within the European Union. That's only 12.6% of all new auto purchases. Meanwhile, traditional gasoline and diesel vehicles continue to sell well. Adding to the strain are the low-cost Chinese electric vehicles flooding the European market. These low-cost EVs entice purchasers who are put off by the hefty prices of their European counterparts. The European Parliament is becoming concerned. They intend to debate methods to protect European automakers, including imposing taxes on cheap Chinese imports. However, some contend that the true answer is for European auto manufacturers to get serious and start producing electric vehicles that ordinary people can buy. The drive for electric vehicles has created an unexpected opposition in rural Hungary. In the little town of Mike Perks, a group of moms has become unusual activists, spearheading the fight against a major new battery factory being developed by Chinese conglomerate CATL. KTL, the world's largest EV battery manufacturer, is investing a cool $8 billion in this gigantic facility, trying to capitalize on Europe's increasing demand for EV batteries. Locals, such as Eva Kozma, a 48-year-old mother of 3 and an environmental engineer, are genuinely concerned about the factory's possible environmental and health implications. We are concerned that CATL would cause pollution and environmental damage on our property, Kozma told Rest of World. She and other members of the Mike Perks Mothers for the Environment (MIAKO) organization cite previous environmental difficulties with battery manufacturers, including as a Samsung SDI facility in Hungary that was fined and temporarily shut down owing to worker exposure to toxic chemicals and excessive emissions. These mothers are not alone in their concerns. Small villages across Hungary are resisting the entrance of battery manufacturing, citing concerns about pollution, water depletion, and the risk of accidents. They contend that these factories are being developed with little transparency or public engagement, and they want a role in choices that will directly affect their communities and their children's futures. This criticism is especially intriguing given that China became Hungary's largest foreign investor in 2023, investing more than $8.5 billion in the nation, primarily for battery manufacture. Chinese battery makers have offered more than $10 billion in investment in Hungary, positioning it as a crucial base for their European growth. However, mounting criticism from local populations implies that this investment may be costly. People's trust and well-being. This situation in Hungary, with moms struggling for their children's future, raises serious issues about the actual cost of the electric vehicle revolution. Are we forsaking environmental sustainability and social justice in pursuit of a greener future? And who gets to make the decision? What do you believe is the best route ahead for Europe's EV industry? Should businesses double down on innovation or reconsider their strategies? Please share your opinions in the comments. And that concludes today. Do not forget to like and subscribe to remain up to date. See you next time.